Welcome back to the Lords of Lore Podcast Network. I'm Matt,
I'm Will.
and we are without Luca today, but we are the Lords of Lore, at least 2/3. And today we're going to talk about season 1, episode 7 of The Wheel of Time on Amazon Prime bars. So yeah, let's just get straight into it. I missed last week's episode. You guys did a review. I disagreed with everything you said, but I was, had fun listening. We've done reviews all 7 episodes, so if people want to check those out, and check out our main show we do every Tuesday where we talk about niche fantasy topics. Anyways, but yeah, there are things I loved in the last episode. I love the Amerlin seat. I think you guys are totally wrong. Whatever. Anyways, this episode, we start off, and we were talking a little bit off camera here. We start off, with a flashback scene, and right away, I knew we were looking at Rand's mom because we had speculated that because of his hair color and because of the reveal Loyal gave us about Aiel always having that color of hair. And then a commenter on our last episode, Old Lady Hembrew, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, revealed that, the Aiel are a desert dwelling people, which was sort of hinted at in that episode based off the garb that person was wearing. But yeah, seeing the way this person was clad, obviously like the loose fitted robes and the mask, it was like, obviously this is a desert dwelling person. And then, seeing her wreck shop, I thought this was awesome fight choreography. Probably the best in the show so far. It reminded me of was it Tower of Joy in Game of Thrones?
Kind of, yeah.
But yeah, like, the dual wield sword guy and had like the brutality of it. Sort of reminded me of that. And then as well as spoilers for Game of Thrones if anyone hasn't seen that show, but for this episode as well, her giving birth immediately after this fight occurs was like very reminiscent of that show, which I thought was super cool. What do you think about that opening scene and then the reveal of obviously Rand's dad, whose beard's weird? What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I wasn't really like, yeah, it kind of threw me off. I guess I just have a little bit more questions.
Yeah.
Like, why were they there? Was kind of the thing. And then also, I'm just gonna quickly jump ahead, but like when we have that little bit of a reveal towards the end, when they revisit that scene, like we see like that white, we see the white tower like just off in the distance, like it's just on the other side of the mountain. Mm-hmm. So like when I was first watching it, I was kind of like, why is this person like dressed in like more hot weather clothing? Like, why are they like in a big snowy area? Was kind of one of the things. So I'm kind of curious to see like why she was there and how come there weren't others with her. Because it just kind of, unless it's like a thing where pregnant women go kill a bunch of dudes and Aiel groups or whatever. But what I did like was the costumes for, I guess that like what Rand's dad was wearing. It reminded me a lot of the blades from Oblivion.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. Like where it has like the plate armor, but then they're using like the katana style sword.
Oh, good call. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, no, that looks pretty cool. And then I knew it was going to be like, I knew it like immediately that was going to be his dad or like the guy that I guess adoptive father.
So again, like when I first saw the scene, I was like, yeah, that's Rand's mom. And so I was waiting for which one of these dudes is going to be his dad. Because like it was just too obvious, I guess, just the way it's been played up in the show. And so, but I was looking at their weapons and I didn't get a good glimpse at any of their weapons because the fight choreography was so like engaging. But I was trying to look for I guess it's a herring. I think they said in the show a crane or a herring. I can't remember, but so I was looking for that. And then obviously the reveal at the end of that scene and the cold open, like you see that's his sword, the same sword Rand now has. Yeah.
And like the again, I just kind of like, I'm curious to know like as to why they were there, because like I assumed that he was like kind of the like I thought he was like a Jesus, what's it called, a warder, the thing that our boy is. Sorry, I can't remember names right now. Yeah, I thought he was like one of the Aes Sedai companions. That's what I thought at first.
Mhm.
just because of like similar hairstyle as to Lan. And I'm also kind of curious, like if when they first got to like the fortress city, I thought that was going to be Eels because I just like it looked kind of like deserty. So I was
Yeah,
assuming
exactly.
that was like my first thought was when I saw that was yeah. Oh, what do you think?
So that was Taldara, right?
Yeah.
Or yeah. Yeah, so like I remember like one of our first episodes of the show, we were talking about like looking up a map because they haven't really done a map. Oh,
Cleaning my
no worries.
camera.
So I initially thought the White Tower was located in a city called White Bridge, which is very close to the two rivers where the story starts. And I was like, man, it took them a month to get from point A to point B. And one of the main criticisms with Game of Thrones towards the end was like,
Fast
they basically
travel.
just activated fast travel mode after that wasn't the thing for the entirety of the show. Um, and I was worried the show was going to get into some of that territory, but it didn't because the White Tower is in a city called Tarvalon, which is in like far right corner of the map. So this makes everything a lot clearer. So sorry about that, but yeah, no, I thought yeah, was it Taldara?
I thought it was called
Maybe, yeah. uh, it's all in some cool,
I had to watch the episode off my phone, so
Oh no. But yeah, anyways, the city that they go to in this episode, I thought was really cool that we finally get a look at the borderlands because we've heard Lan obviously talk about where he comes from briefly, but and then some of the reveals we get with Lan were really cool in this episode, like his Dai Shen, I think they called him, which means son of kings, I think he said. But implying that he's a prince or the equivalent in some, I can't remember the name of the city, but a fallen city that's no longer, but still gets sort of the respect of that title. That was cool too. Yeah, I thought the city was cool. In the trailer, because the Wheel of Time Instagram account puts out trailers every like Wednesday or Thursday, and like they painted this episode in such a different light than it actually was. This is like, I think the show has gotten better every episode since episode 3. I know you guys didn't feel that same way after last week's
I like
episode.
this one, but
Yeah.
yeah, last one just was lacking for me.
Oh, no, I love the sort of slow burn and the reveals of that episode. Uh, Fair enough, whatever. But yeah, no, I really liked what they did. And then obviously the ways was super cool.
Mm-hmm.
After that cold open, we get, them going back to the moment where Matt decides to not go with them. And then the reveal that you can't use the one power in this place between places. Yeah. And then we see, I think, Pat and Fane, who we've seen, I think, 3 or 4 times throughout the series since the first episode. And so, like, just clear confirmation that he is a dark friend. And seems pretty high up on the pecking order, the way he's been like tasked to follow this group, and how he keeps appearing at very important times, and we now know is probably responsible for leading the Trollocs to the two rivers, as discreetly and undetectable as they were. What are your thoughts on that character?
Yeah, I just I'm not sure if you noticed it, but like that was his caravan that was on the bridge, or I guess on the entrance. That was like when they're approaching the city gates, that he was ahead of them, right?
Yeah,
that's what it looked like to me. But yeah, no, he's definitely an evil dude. We don't like him. I did like the fast travel network in series.
yeah.
I'm kind of curious because did they mention that like Trollocs aren't able to go in there?
No, it just seemed
Or
like
they're just not supposed to.
Yeah, like Loyal was pretty like disturbed by the fact that they were.
Yeah, because like and like the way I understand it is like they are Trollocs are the blight in which they're talking about, right?
Yeah.
It reminded me like a lot of that one desert location in Dragon Age Inquisition.
Yeah. Can't something reach or something.
Yeah, because it has like the it's a desert area. There's a fortress. There's also a blight. a different kind of blight. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm kind of interested. Like, I guess that's like kind of my beef with the show is that like we have just like these weird like drops without any explanation, and it's just kind of like move along. And like to me, it seems like it's just like the show just hinting towards information that we would get from the books, which I have not read the series yet.
Yeah, I heard like you guys talking about this a little bit last week too. My thing though is that like when like I guess like the conversation boils down to like exposition, right? And it's like some people I know would feel like too much exposition is obviously like annoying, and it's just like look how deep this world is built, you know. But for me, it's like that exists in the book, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if it needs to exist in the show. Like the important thing to know, like giving you all that information in the book is really cool. And I love books that do that. I obviously like I love world building, but I think like for the purposes of a show, if we took so much time to go into all the deep sort of lore and world building of the show, which I know makes the books what they are, and like book fans probably not happy with me saying that, but I feel like
enjoy reading 15 books, you nerds.
Like I get it, but it's also like we got to sort of be realistic with like what we can do in a show. Like I don't know. I feel like my perception of the show is like it's been pretty great. I'm really enjoying the show, and this episode was like no exception. I feel like the show, like even though it's high fantasy, it skips some of the more fantasy aspects, you know, to make room for character development and plot. Whereas I feel like a lot of people miss what the Wheel of Time was in the books, which is like this, you know, huge, like massive world with all this history, and they're sort of like missing out on that. And that's fine to be upset about, but I just don't know if it's doable. Like, I don't know any other fantasy show that's ever been successful and done that. Like, yeah, anyways.
Not Game of Thrones.
Exactly, because Game of Thrones is super low fantasy. But yeah, anyways, let's get back into like some of the things that happened in this episode. Obviously, like we talked about Lan. What was your thoughts on the relationship between Lan and Nynaeve?
Oh, it felt kind of weird.
Agreed.
It just, I don't like, it's gonna sound weird for me saying it, like it just felt like kind of like creepy. Like,
oh really?
I don't know, that like I was just kind of like weirded out by it. I think, I don't know, I guess like I think just my assumption going to it is like this like age difference, and also just like dynamic in roles. Like I don't know, but like I'm also kind of glad we got to have like that big blow up with all of the characters, because it's like nobody, I don't know, it just seems like everyone just wants to like bang each other, but then
Yeah, no,
it's weird, man. Like
okay, so
on one hand, like it seems like it's kind of like
genuine.
I was gonna say disingenuous.
Oh,
kind of shoehorned in, but like I don't
yeah,
know. It's kind of weird, but like I'm kind of glad they had the blow up, because it's like there's been like weird like tension between the characters in previous episodes. So it's kind of like I'm glad we got that out of the way, but I don't know. It was just kind of weird. And the one with like Lan was kind of weird, I felt.
So I like last episode, I was like, what? She's with the Amerlin seat? Like, what about Lan? It's supposed to be like, and then you see like the relationship between all the other warders and their Aes Sedai, and it's like very sexual, very intimate, very like romantic. And then you see like Moraine and Lan, and they're like a little bit different. And you know, you was wondering like, is Moraine just like detached, you know, because of like she's sworn to like her duties, that she's like, you know, neglected the other facets of her life. And then, you know, then you see her with the Amerlin seed, and you're like, oh no, that's not it at all. She just has someone else. Like, oh man, Lan, like, you know. But then it's like you see like, you know, there's a line in here where she's like, I like her, like, but then she's like, but like I like her for you, the wisdom. It's like, oh, I see. There's like this weird, like it's a kinship between Moraine and Lan. Like it's a partnership. It's not like, well, maybe they just have an open relationship. I don't know.
Well, like they kind of reveal like how it was kind of that partnership was needed in order to like, so he didn't die.
Yeah,
kind of thing, like to protect him. But oh, like it just felt kind of weird, like with Lan and Nynaeve.
Yeah, like, and I don't know, she's
I don't know.
so hostile all the time that it's like, how did, like, you, like, I feel like there's a lot of dialogue between them where you're like, okay, like, when did you guys become friends type of thing. It
Yeah,
never felt like it was sort of earned. It just felt like, oh, now they're sleeping together. Okay.
I
Like,
thought she was into Perrin, but I guess
yeah,
not. That's what I mean. It's just everyone wants to bang each other.
yeah, yeah.
I
What do
don't
you think
know.
about the barmaid, like
I thought that was cool.
the
That
yeah,
that was
yeah,
that like that whole reveal is like what I've been waiting for, and like that's I think I mentioned it in the last episode. Was that was like my theory. It was just because we haven't had any Rand content.
yeah, you called it.
Yeah, I called that
Yeah,
shit.
you totally called it. Like, we're gonna get a flashback and then like all about his parentage and stuff, and then
Because like yeah,
we'll get
like
the
in
reveal.
every like episode leading up to it, he's just kind of like hanging off on the side, and then
Yeah,
so like to me
which
it was obviously they were like holding him off, like kind of like
yeah.
saving him.
So I actually had it spoiled for me by a book
Shocking.
reader's girlfriend who was like, I'd seen we were posting reviews for it and was like, oh, my boyfriend's a big fan of the books, hates the show. He was complaining to me that because, in the episode with the Aes Sedai, it's like, I think episode 4, where we see Nynaeve's powers. And it's
Mhm.
implied then that she's the dragon. And
Yeah,
so I guess book fans were sort of upset that they had changed who the dragon was. And I was pretty confident that they hadn't. They were just setting it up in a way where it wasn't too obvious.
yeah,
But I mean, we're only one season in, so like that's a pretty big reveal
yeah. The reveal
moving
doesn't
forward.
happen until season 4.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah,
I
I don't know. I like I thought, you know, pushing Rand to the side, just being like, oh, he's just a dude with a sword and a bow, and he's taking care of his friend. And there was that scene in episode 3, I guess, where he breaks down that door, and I sort of forgot about it. But at the time, I was like, oh, what the fuck? Like, that's how is he that strong? And then like to see all those scenes come back now and then, and there's a really cool thing they do in episode 4 where Moraine reveals that women can't see a man's weave. Um, and so that scene where he knocks the door down, we're seeing that from the perspective of, I can't remember her name, but the
the dark
bartender.
friend.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So we're seeing it from her perspective, and she just sees him knock down the door because she can't see his weave because he's a man. So I was like, oh shit, that was pretty clever. And then to see those scenes with the dark weave in it, some of those scenes, I can't remember him knocking over the door, and then there was one where it looked like exactly like the Memory of Light cover for me. Like seeing it with the weave and everything, I was like, oh shit, like they were
Mhm.
on their shit when they, designed that scene.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
what
No,
did you think of the reveal of Rand?
he's like I said, he's just too much of a main character.
Yeah.
Main character vibes. Yeah, I'll be honest. It was either him or Nynaeve were my two
Yeah.
for the dragon. It was like again, it was just like I was thinking. I was like, yeah, we're not like getting any information on Rand up until, so they must be saving him for something.
Yeah.
Um, Either that or like Nynaeve also just seems pretty powerful. I did like the reveal. I actually I like the scene where he has like the where he's talking to his dad, like the flashback, like
Yeah.
after the Trollocs attack. I thought that was
Oh
pretty
yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite part because like I'm like I said, I'm just kind of curious to like who was Rand's dad, like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
what why were they there, like that's yeah, I don't know, I think that's just like one of my pieces with the show. It's just I always have so much more questions after it, especially because like again I'm just curious to know the factions because it seems like there's not really any like established kingdoms, like it's all just city states almost, like
Yeah.
so
Yeah. So oh yeah, like you, I'm wondering who that herring crested sword faction
Mhm.
is.
Yeah,
Uh
and like why are they like trying to kill a pregnant woman, like
yeah. I wonder if she's
it's
like some sort of assassin trying to escape. And if that mountain is what they've referred to as the spine. like the spine of the world, maybe, I don't know. And so she's trying to get back to the other side of the spine and couldn't make it in time. But then also, if you're the Aiel, and I don't mean to be ableist or misogynistic, but why send a pregnant woman who's about to give birth that could conflict with her assassination mission? So maybe it's not that.
Yeah, like I don't like, to me it seemed like they were kind of like, maybe they were like attacking this group.
Yeah,
we see like the Aiel skeleton in that one town.
Oh, did we? Okay.
Yeah, I think that was it was episode 3.
Oh yeah, but I feel like just like there's like a xenophobia towards the Aiel, or at least attention. Yeah.
Well, I don't know, and like maybe like this white heron or swan, maybe it's connected with like the white robes.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, fantasy clan.
But they didn't see him desert clad, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think like, but I guess my takeaway is whenever I watch the show and I have more questions, I'm more excited to see the subsequent episodes. But obviously I feel like for me and you having more questions, book readers have told us, like in the comments or whatever, that
like, you guys fucking suck.
Yeah, like they're like, there are answers for those questions. They just didn't bother telling you. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, great.
Just read.
Yeah.
I am interested in reading. It's just I have a massive stack.
Yeah.
I still have to finish Dune.
Same.
Yeah. Oh, actually, as a side note, I've been super into Halo lately.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I started rereading the series as well. Yeah. But I do want to watch this event or read some of them eventually.
Yeah, like even just checking out the Eye of the World, like I wonder, like, you know, because the reception of the show has been like lukewarm, I would say. I wonder how long it'll keep going. If, you know, the book fans are still upset with how it's going, how much longer will they be able to sustain, you know, viewership enough to, you know, fund what seems like a pretty expensive show to make. I'm hoping it goes the whole way, but will it be one season per book? And if so, that's fucking insane. Like, you know, even Game of Thrones, like 8 seasons, that fucking took forever. Like, you know, 14 seasons for anything is fucking insane. So I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I think I kind of wish this season wasn't, because it's 8 episodes, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
I think next week is the finale.
Yeah. So I kind of wish we had like more, just because I feel like I don't know, like it's just not enough time to explain. Again, like I think my other biggest question about the show is like, what's the point of all of this? Like, what's going on with the other side? So like that's kind of I don't know. It feels like, to me, it feels like they've spent the first 2 episodes, could have just been 1 episode. So
yeah, like I don't know. My thing is I just want more of it. So like I'm with you that like I wish it was longer. But
I just kind of like want to know more about the motivations, because we know that someone's a dragon. Then if the dragon's bad, then it's bad. But
yeah, see, I'm also like, I go through like phases with it where it's like, you know, if it was something I was ultra passionate about and it wasn't faithful to the source material, I would be upset about it. So I can totally like, you know, yeah, I could see why people are mad. But like for me, I'm actually just enjoying watching these actors act and like living in this fantasy world that's been set up, where I'm just like, oh, cool, interesting. You know, it's an hour of my week once a week, and I'm enjoying it. But I can definitely see, like, so far, I don't think it has that same grab that things like Game of Thrones had. So, and it doesn't, for like, it feels different than The Witcher to me too, because
less action.
Yeah, and then like the cast is obviously spread out, you know, where The Witcher's like mainly 3 characters and their involvement with other characters. This is, you know, splitting up, getting back together, and then when they are together, it's still what, 6 or 7 characters that we have to balance and give enough screen time to. So it's kind of tough that way.
Yeah, I know. I definitely agree. I'm kind of curious, like if they were to do a second season, like, will they keep all of the characters?
Well, I mean, you would hope, because they gotta stay faithful to the books.
Yeah, but are they? I don't know. Do they find the dragon in the first book?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm interested what the comments on this video will be
Yeah.
because this is probably a big episode in terms of lore. Also, though, people were letting us know last week that Matt is actually supposed to go with them, and they might not even use the ways. I don't think they don't get to the White Tower in the Eye of the World book, and the reason why Matt's not with them is because the actor quit the show, and there's been no reason given why. They actually deleted their social media, so I mean, I just hope they're okay. The person who plays Matt, but also like I'm curious to see who's going to be the next Matt because I actually really enjoyed their performance.
He's a good
Besides the
actor.
fucking the dagger thing, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. So that's unfortunate, but like it's also unfortunate that they had to change the book. And then, we have that scene of Moraine saying, notify the Red Aja. So like I wonder how livid book fans will be if they completely write Matt out of the show and decide not to recast.
Yeah, it seems like they're just gonna kill him off screen.
Yeah, that would be rough. I don't think that'll be the case, but they'll have
Unless,
to pick
like,
someone who looks the same. It'll be like a Dario Nahara situation again.
yeah, except hopefully Matt didn't leave to do a transporter movie. Um,
The classic delete all your social media and go do transporter.
yeah, yeah. Disappear for several months and shave
Yeah.
your head and do a transporter movie. I wonder if they'll have him like look like if they do like the darkness thing. I wonder if there's a way that they keep him as like if they have him like become like corrupted by the darkness and then like he looks different, like he just maybe he'll like turn into a fade. Like,
Oh, maybe.
cool.
Yeah. I have no idea what happens to Matt in the books, to be fair. Hey, I wanted to ask you, the subtitles spoiled something for you at the beginning of episode 4. Without spoiling that same thing, has that character appeared in any? No. Okay.
There's 2 of them.
Okay. So yeah, then don't say
Amazon.
still. Yeah. Because I was
fucking X-ray shit on Amazon Prime. Oh.
Yeah.
Man,
Amazon Prime might
you go to like pause it. It's the worst off because like I usually watch it off my PlayStation.
Yeah.
And like it's the worst because if you go to pause it, sometimes like when you go to unpause it, it just like sends you to the cast instead.
Yeah.
Like, it's annoying.
Yeah. I find it handy when I'm like, oh, who is that actor again? And not having to look it up and like misspell names and stuff. But then at the same time, it tells you who's all in the scene, not necessarily who's on screen at that second, because that'd probably be harder to do. Yeah. So then you get fucking reveals of characters that are like, if you pause it for whatever reason, then you're like, oh, what the fuck? That person's in the scene? Aren't they somewhere else? And sure enough, they walk in and you're like, man, fuck. Just killed the whole surprise. Yeah.
Yeah, which is potentially ruined the entire season for me. But I wonder if we're even going to get to it because we haven't even had a hint of it.
Yeah. As soon as it comes up, let us know because I'd like to know how big of a spoiler that was. That sucks.
I think it was pretty big.
Yeah.
Pretty big.
People need to be like Amazon and anybody streaming services need to be better about subtitles and like why would you put that in?
Like what the fuck? Like put that off on like the side menu where I have to like make an effort to like accidentally pull that up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, I watched this episode off like my phone, like off my iPhone. It was actually pretty, and like I used like the app. It was actually like pretty good. It didn't happen, but it seems to be like I don't know, the PlayStation, I guess like setup is just kind of shitty because like you like touch like one of the analog sticks and it's just like, oh, season ruined.
Season ruined.
I totally forgot about that too. God.
Oh, sorry. All right. I think. Sorry. Go ahead.
I think they'll probably get revealed. They have to be revealed next episode.
Oh, interesting.
Because like they seem like because like I like kind of like because like what happened was like I was eating at the time. And then so like I was like watching it from like the kitchen and then I like paused it and I was like, who the fuck's that? And then like I like quickly searched it because I was like, again, I'm really bad at remembering all the names because the cast
Yeah.
is so huge. So then when I like pulled it up, I was like, man, what the fuck? Like it said like on like the wiki fandom, like it just like revealed their entire character.
Yikes.
And I was like, man. So like on the plus side, I think next episode will be like probably the best one.
Yeah, I'm expecting big things from the finale, I guess.
It'll definitely be a cliffhanger, and I swear to God, if there's no season 2, I'll be upset. I hate cliffhangers.
Yeah, hopefully they get greenlit for season 2. That'd be a shame. Yeah, that'll do it for us here though. Thanks for watching. Let us know your thoughts down below. Give this video a like. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel. You can catch us on Tuesdays doing our main show where we three bring a segment and talk about some niche fantasy or sci-fi stuff. And you can catch this show every Saturday in the morning or around lunchtime, our time, which I don't know. About time. Yeah, as always, I'm Matt.
I'm Will.
And we are the Lords of Lore. Yeah, and for Luca, I'm Matt. Oh, good stuff. All right, see you guys.